Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. So in our first story, in a moment of desperation during a chaotic day, our OP dared to ask the boss to step in and lend a hand. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. I don't work here and don't have the keys to the case. So I used to work at Walmart. My town happens to have two Walmarts as well, which are on opposite sides of town. I work at the south side Walmart, but I was on the north side of town as I was getting my car cleaned up at a car dealership that I bought my car from. When I bought the car, it was winter and they hadn't cleaned the inside of the car, so we made a deal for a free detailing of the car in the spring, made my car look and smell like new. I'd been worried about not making it back to my side of town for work, so I put on my work outfit and didn't have my vest on, as I left that in my locker at work, which is important to know later. Also, this kind of was my fault for this whole thing, but seeing the sub made me think of it. I decided to stop at the north side Walmart to grab a drink and Bluetooth receiver for my now clean car, as I'm tired of listening to the radio, and my old car had an aftermarket radio in it that allowed me to hook up my iPod to. Since my new car had its factory radio, I couldn't really hook my iPod up. No aux port either. I happened to work at the electronics center at my Walmart, knew which Bluetooth receiver I wanted to get since I also knew that my workplace was sold out of it. I walk in the store and head to that back to look around for a bit. Since the Walmarts may be in the same town, that didn't mean that they were set up the same. I see that the receiver is locked in a case, so I'd need someone to unlock it. Now, this is the annoying part to me. I know this Walmart is kind of bad at its service side, as I don't see anyone in the area. I go around checking, but don't find anyone working in the area. What I do find is a nice old lady looking really confused. I look down at my watch and shrug, as I have about 2 hours before I need to be at my Walmart. This lady looked really confused, so I walked up and asked her if she needs any help. We'll call her NL for nice lady. NL explains that she's looking for a cable. Can't remember if it was an HDMI cable or an ether. I think it was an ether. I tell her that I don't work at this Walmart, but I was willing to help as I was waiting for someone with keys to come by so I could get an item. NL kindly thanks me for my help, and we start looking around for the cable. I managed to find the cables and start asking her how long she was looking for and chatting about if she ever needed up to come by the other Walmart on my shift to make sure she gets any help. While we're chatting, I hear this loud huffing noise behind me. I'm not the type to be rude, and I kind of was in my helpful mode as I turned around to see this other lady standing there with her arms crossed and an angry look on her face. She rolled her eyes at me with a loud, "Finally, I need you to unlock a game from the game case." She is Rude Lady, or RL. Also, she even overheard me telling Nice Lady that I worked at the other Walmart. "Sorry, ma'am, I don't work at this Walmart," I explained to her, only to earn a loud huff from RL with an annoyed look. "You were just helping that old bag. You need to help me now," RL says, which earns a hurt look from NL. Again, I don't work at this Walmart, and I don't even have the keys to open up the game case. If you want, you can stop at the South Side Walmart in an hour, and I can help you there, I told RL, who glares at me. "You're here now, so go get the keys and open the case for me now," RL demands at me. It's then that finally someone who works in this area comes out from the back area. I then point out that the guy telling RL that he works here and can even see his work keys as they have a large key to unlock the lockboxes. RL glares at me, seeming to want me to go over and get the keys from him. But I don't work at this Walmart, and I also can't work off the clock, and this isn't my store. I instead walk over to the guy and tell him that I wanted to get a Bluetooth receiver that was in a case, which just pissed off RL, who storms up and stands in the guy's way so he can't open the case. "Why are you getting that? I didn't ask for it." She's pointing to me, I suppose to get the keys off you to get my game. RL demands with a pissed look at me and the guy. He just glances between me and her before turning to the lady. She doesn't work here, though. She isn't even wearing a vest, he told her with a confused face. But she was helping some old bag and wearing a Walmart uniform, blue shirt and khakis, RL whined. I looked at her. "I told you that I don't work at this Walmart. I work at the other Walmart." I tell her again with a shrug and turn to the guy who got the item I was waiting for. I then thanked him for his time since I knew how things were at retail stores. RL looks mad that I had gotten my item and that I didn't have to help her or anything as I started walking away from RL and the guy who was now having to deal with RL demanding a game from the case and to talk to a manager about me. Nothing any of them could do as I walked up front and paid for my item and a drink before heading to my Walmart for work. I did see NL on the way out and said good luck with her cable and to see her sometime at my store as she's admitted that she lived on my side of town and was just running errands on this side of town. I did see her a couple of times at my Walmart afterwards and we'd laugh about the RL. I've seen stories on here where people who doesn't even remotely have the store's uniform on gets mistaken for an employee. Just because you're nice and helpful doesn't mean you work there, and there's absolutely no reason to be rude to them when they're being honest as well. And our second story. The Curse of the Karens. I, 38-year-old male, am a magnet for Karens in the wild and at my place of work. Due to my life as a graveyard shift employee at a hotel, my mornings are usually spent shopping for supplies to keep my aging butt from going insane and hungry. Location: the Bullseye store in a Texas city. Date: 2 months ago. Number of Karens: 1 speaking, 6 observing. On this particular day, I had a typical night. Those who work in the hospitality business know we never use the Q word. No major issues. Everybody checks in with no hiccups, essentially, any normal average night. Upon the morning, I decided to go to my local Bullseye store for supplies. Unfortunately, my usual wall of marts was out of the supplies I needed. As I entered the grocery section, I got my necessary items with hardly any issues. I then turned towards the men's clothes section to pick up some needed garments. While I'm searching for the right size, I felt a jab into my shoulder. I turn and see a woman in her mid-50s, blonde hair, cross necklace, and mid-90s fashion. We'll call her Karen. I think, oh God, not again. Karen: excuse me, a man of your stature can help me in this place. Me: ma'am, with all due respect, I don't work here. Karen: don't give me lip, boy. Just do what you're hired for and help me. Me: let out a very audible sigh. Karen, grabbing my shirt: be a good manager and help me. I noticed an old friend working in the jewelry section sat between me and the women's section. Me: Jules. Jules, not her real name. Hey, OP, what's going on? Little did I know there were 6 other ladies behind Karen now, and they were all staring right at me. Almost as if they all want to talk to me and think that I'm a manager there. Why? My normal work shirt is blue, but was being washed, and I had gone to work wearing a deep red button-down shirt, darker than the usual bullseye red, but very noticeable different shade of red. I smiled at Jules and decided on a genius plan. Jules knows that I have a mischievous streak and plays along. Me: Jules, can you help me with the demonstration? Karen: huh? What do you mean? Just help me, you dumb manager. Jules: ma'am, calm down. I'm sure he's got a reason. The group of Karens put their hands on their hips and carefully watch as I step next to Jules. Me: take a good look, ladies. I'm a man, and Jules here is a woman. Karen: that's obvious. Me: take a look at my shirt and compare it to hers. Pointing at Jules' shirt: this is the standard Bullseye uniform. Pointing to my shirt: this is not the standard Bullseye uniform, and this name tag clearly states a different business. What can we conclude from this demonstration? Karen, now realizing: you're a manager? Jules: nope. The man behind you is, not the man in front of you. All of these 7 Karens turned around and saw the incredibly well-built mountain of a manager wearing the same color shirt as Jules. Manager: are we going to have to repeat the incident again, ladies? Or have you already forgotten what happened last time? Little did I know this isn't their first offense. The Karens then apologize to me for assuming that I'm an employee and quickly disperse. Jules: I think I may have to question my friendship with you, OP. I don't want the curse of the Karens to rub off on me. What the F is wrong with these Karens? It doesn't matter who you think they are. Don't touch people. It's not freaking hard. I think reading about crazy Karens like this makes me lose faith in people little by little. And our last story. No, you can't force me to join an HOA. Many years ago, I had some issues with the HOA that formed next to my property. Here are some of the issues I had over the last 20-plus years with the HOA. Tried to force my membership, tried to fine me for violations despite not being a member, harassed my daughter on our property, and once stopped her while driving through the HOA. Those involved got jail and a fine. Tried to block access to my property by saying the public road that goes through the HOA was private and say I needed to join the HOA if I wanted to use the street. Towed vehicles legally parked on my property. Illegally used my property as a parking lot and community fair, causing damage to my field, including contaminated soil. Equipment leaked oil and chemicals onto a field I used to grow hay and graze my horses. Removed a portion of a fence to gain illegal access to my property, cut down several trees on my property without my permission, trespassing multiple times, violated no contact order multiple times. They started with the demand to join. I replied with a letter stating I don't and citing the law. They followed up with fines and demanded letters. I replied once via certified mail, restating I'm not in the HOA and not legally required to join. Next notice I got from them, I called an attorney and let them handle it. They knocked on my door and harassed my daughter in our yard. When I told them I wasn't speaking to them, call my lawyer. After that, I've kept a no-contact order in place for 20-plus years. We've gone this route every 5 to 7 years. New people join the board and forget that there's a no-contact order, and every time they send me something, it just goes to my attorney and they get a letter, a copy of the no-contact order, and a bill for his time. Sometimes they try to press issues with the lawyer and always lose and have to pay the fees. For this reason, I hired the most expensive law firm I could find. Anytime they legitimately need to talk to me, paying the legal fees is worth it to not have to talk to the HOA. I haven't heard from the HOA for a few years, but don't doubt I'll again, so the NC order stays in place. I do get along with people in that neighborhood, despite several expensive assessments they've had to pay to cover the HOA's F-ups. I'm even friends with someone who's a board member at large, holds no office, just votes on things. They remind new board members that they need to contact my lawyer. The arrogance of some HOAs never ceases to amaze me. It's sad that our OP has to deal with this every few years, and the list of things the OP described at the beginning of the story sounds horrible. So what do you think about this story? Ever had a HOA horror story of your own? Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.